It's all over at the Stade Chaban Delmas in Bordeaux. UBB against Munster in this Champions Cup quarter-final. These are my thoughts immediately following the full-time whistle, where it finished 47-29. And Bordeaux go through against Munster, who showed a bit of spirit in the second half, but will come away from that thinking what might have been if they'd been able to take care of some of the basics that you just don't associate with Munster not having. With guys like Peter O'Mahony and Tyg Byrne in the team, you don't expect their line-out to malfunction. What might have been if they'd managed to take care of business there? Because that line-out was probably worth 18 points to Munster or Bordeaux, whichever way you want to look at it today on this one. Bordeaux, equally, they play some of the most incredible attacking rugby you will see. But they are prone to taking their foot off the gas and giving their opponents opportunities. And they gave Munster 29 points today, but they scored 47. Their record of scoring points in this competition is remarkable. I mean, Damien Penaud has got 12 tries in this season's Champions Cup. It's absolutely bonkers. And with Le Beep Beep, with Jalabert, and especially Luku, they have just got some incredible players. But you still feel they're a step down from Leinster and possibly a step down from Toulouse or Toulon, one of which is going to be facing them in Bordeaux in the next round of the competition, obviously. But news flash, the main bit of news, UBB are quite good at rugby. A few thoughts. Wasn't it nice to see Munster in red? Although maybe the pink power is that got them the win in La Rochelle is worth a few points as well. But it's just nice seeing Munster in proper Munster red. Their fans are absolutely unreal. And I love that they brought baguettes with them and travelled in numbers, made a load of noise. It's absolutely awesome. It's been said before many times, can't scrum, can't win. Can't line out, can't win. Should be a new mantra. What on earth happened to Munster's set piece? The throws were overthrown, the lifts were poor. Like a new hooker comes on and they make him chuck to the tail. They have Tom Ahern on the bench the whole time, and you just think, well, it's going that badly. Maybe just bring him on. He's 6'9". He'll sort it out. He came on, of course, got himself yellow carded. That's another story altogether. But the game began, and it looked like it was going the way of Leinster against Glasgow, just a beat down. And I was sort of ready for the narrative to continue that, like, we're going to have had two quarterfinals, and it's two absolute blowouts. It wasn't a blowout in the end. I mean, at one point, Munster looked like they were getting back into it, but that was extinguished pretty quickly. It was always a long shot for them to win, particularly after the way they started. And some of the guys that were so good last week were exposed this week. Wycherley, he just got done today, didn't he? Tough. Abraham's in that first half. He stepped up massively against La Rochelle last week and just found life going difficult in defence. But it's so hard to defend Bordeaux because they have so many threats. They play with so much pace and depth and skill that it must be an absolute nightmare to be an outside back, having to cover them, not knowing, if I step in, then they're going to rinse me outside. If I don't step in, there'll be a guy charging through the middle. At one point, Peter O'Mahony's face, he was just looking around at his Munster teammates like, lads, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing? That face, it's like, that like teacher or coach that you had in the past, or boss or whatever, someone that the worst thing possible is not them shouting at you, is them saying they're disappointed in you. That face from Peter O'Mahony was one of them. But yeah, errors, knock-ons, missed tackles, line-outs. It was really, really bad. Penaud, as I say, getting his 12th try in the competition. Luku and Jalabert, so good. The Jalabert nudge through. Right, one moment. Ben Tamafuna goes down clutching his face. And the TMO comes in. Jean Klein with a tackle where he was... Right, Jean Klein, what is he? 6'7", 6'8", bent at the waist. Parallel, like his back is parallel to the ground. He wraps with his arms. Why are we looking at that 5-10 times on replay? And also, if you're going to take that much time looking at it because you're concerned about a head contact, accidents happen, and fair play. Nika Amashikeli came to the right decision in the end, but like Ben Tamafuna clutching his face, and you deem it worthy of looking at the TMO replays 10 times, he doesn't go off for an HIA. I almost think certainly anyone that goes down holding their face and you get replays involved, you should almost, as a matter of course, well, off you go, Ben Tamafuna. Need to go and get yourself checkmate. You made that much of a fuss. Anyway, no Romain Burros at fullback for Bordeaux. I thought that might be an opportunity for Munster. Burros is actually one of the French fullbacks who is very, very good in the air. But a Champions Cup debut for John Etchegaray, and he scores a try. They've just got young guys coming out of their ears in French rugby at the minute. And that was after that little Penno nudge through, and then Luku scores as well. Pete Samu got a try, rampaging. Oh, that's right. Etchegaray was the 4th try of the first half. Pete Samu had a big first half as well. He was just rampaging everywhere. Luku gets that try from the Penno nudge through. They're just finding meters and space at will, and it's 29-3, and you think it's all over. But that try just before half-time for Alex Nankervel was huge, and that was after a string of penalties. Bordeaux on a warning which kind of got forgotten about in the second half. It's funny how that happens when you have a string of penalties leading up to half-time. You almost think like the ref needs to be reminded, don't forget you put them on a warning. Like in real terms, it was 15, 20 minutes ago by the time you get back to the second half. But in game terms, it was 30 seconds ago you gave them a warning. So anyway, it was 29-10 at half-time. Munster did start the second half a lot better, but still their Achilles heel was the line-out, and they could not sort it out. And we saw that with a try later on from Munster, where they stole a Bordeaux line-out and ended up going and scoring a try. Was that when Smith scored their 4th try? And you just thought, there you go. That's what a line-out platform can do. And it just they needed to be stealing ball off Bordeaux in order to actually get a line-out platform. They didn't have one of their own. So Jalabert missed a couple of kicks. There was a Munster try, Smith again. Penno, defence. And this is it, symptomatic of Bordeaux. They do incredible things. Penno is amazing, but then they'll just have little brain fart moments. And Penno's defence on that Smith try was questionable. Jalabert finally nails a penalty from right in front of the sticks. But Tom Ahern, yellow card. I was thinking, as I said, get Tom Ahern on. He'll sort the line out on. No, he won't, because he's off the pitch for 10 minutes. And then when Bordeaux scored from a maul, Luku even in on it, 10-man maul. And then that was weird, actually, on Amasha Kelly. I like him a lot as a referee. I've said I think he will referee a World Cup final. He is very, very good. He's got a good feel for the game. But it was weird. He went, held up. Then by the time he'd gone to the TMO check, he went, on-field decision is try, which is a bit weird. And you wondered whether it was Penno coming in and going, he got it on the floor, which convinced him to change his mind. And you hope that's not the case. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because it was the correct decision. It was a try on the field. And at that point, 37-15, you thought, well, that is game over, especially when Jack Crowley goes and knocks it on his own line. But yeah, Munster managed to claw them way back into the game and at one point get back to within 11 points. And you think they could do it. By the way, just on Craig Casey, because I made a note that he got one of those little nose strips and had to have it replaced because one of them wasn't stuck down. I haven't seen those since Robbie Fowler used to wear them playing football in the 90s. They're back. What's going on with that? And especially, it feels weird stopping the game. Time off. Get the guy a plaster. Get his mum on to come and kiss it better at the same time. It's weird. I reckon we should give him a plaster with like little cartoon figures. I'm assuming he got like a broken nose and he can't breathe without it. I thought that they were a bit of a fad and they went away because they didn't actually work. But maybe they do actually work. I don't know. Maybe he's being sponsored by these new plasters and they're making a comeback. Anyway, I love Craig Casey. There was another yellow for collapsing a maul on Alex Kendellen. Penalty try for Munster. Let's talk about that for a second. Again, Munster can't really complain about refereeing decisions going against them. That one was one. So penalty tries are meant to be given for probable tries, like more than likely going to score. Not, oh, he might have scored, possible. And I think that was more a possible. Particularly, it reminded me of like Teddy Thomas last week, trying to step inside against Munster. I mean, what was it? Penno and Luku were saying, we are three, as in we had two more men who were covering. So anyway, it looked like it was a bit of a gift, bow tie on top from the referee, and but it wasn't going to affect the result. But then Smith scored a try, really good approach. As I say, the irony being, it was from a Bordeaux line-out. It's the only way Munster managed to win one. And then Cyril Cazot gets his second yellow card, and you're thinking, no, this can't happen, can it? But then it was Takir Abrahams had that opportunity to score down the right-hand touchline, and Luku's defence came to the fore, and that guy was immense. Bordeaux are going to have to be better. And I'm saying that, and they just beat a really good Munster team, 47-29, although Munster, as I say, did not play well by their very high standards. And it's a shame that that is the last we'll see in the Champions Cup of Peter O'Mahony, Stephen Archer, absolute legends. And it's a shame that their competition ended in that fashion, given how good they were last week. But the best team did prevail. Bordeaux go through and bring on the semi-finals. And let's wait and see who Leinster are going to play in the Saints Castres match. That's the next one. If you appreciate the content on the channel, give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.